I thought I wasn't that emotionally vulnerable and could defend my boundaries, but here's what I didn't expect. I'm 25 and cursed with a brain that short-circuits when people won't leave me the hell alone. It's not some cute introvert act. It's a raw, jagged overload that claws at my skull when voices stack up, faces press in, and the world turns into a screaming void I can't escape. My chest locks tight, my thoughts splinter, and I'm left scrambling for silence like it's oxygen. I've been this way since I could walk, the kid who'd bolt to the attic while my cousins turned our Jersey backyard into a gladiator pit, shoving, shouting, smashing bottles just to hear the crash. They'd howl over who got the bigger slice of pie, and I'd be up there, hunched over a sketchbook, penciling dragons with teeth like razors, my hands trembling if I stayed downstairs too long. It wasn't hate. I loved them in my own scraped-up way, but their noise was a chainsaw to my nerves, and I'd rather bleed out alone than let it shred me. Doctors tossed out terms, social overload, sensory overload, some half-baked anxiety tag, but it's no diagnosis, just a cage I've learned to navigate. I've built a life around it, freelancing as a graphic designer from a cramped apartment where I can bolt the door, kill the lights, and drown the world in quiet. I'm good at it. Sharp logos for clients, feral sketches for me. Proof I'm not some broken doll, just a fighter who picks her battles. My family's a different breed, a loud, vicious Italian clan that feeds on chaos like it's their bloodline's fuel. They're wolves with no pack loyalty, snapping at each other over burnt lasagna or who scratched Uncle Vinny's Cadillac. Mom's the alpha, a chain-smoking tyrant who wields guilt like a switchblade. Cut you deep, then cry about the mess. Dad's her ghost, a worn-out mechanic who'd rather hide in his garage than face her storms. My brothers, two older meatheads, thrive in the brawl, fists and laughs loud enough to rattle windows. The cousins, aunts, uncles, they're a horde, spilling into every gathering like a flood, the air heavy with sweat, sauce, and old scores. I'm the stray, there, but never really, ducking out when the shouting peaks, catching hell for being aloof or uppity. They don't understand, never will, and I quit trying to make them when I was 16, after Mom screamed I was ruining her family for skipping a cousin's wedding. I don't explain anymore. I draw, I work, I survive. My art's my weapon, dark, sprawling scenes of monsters tearing through worlds, a middle finger to the chaos I can't outrun. The ugliest wolf in this den is my cousin Gina, and she's had her claws in me since we were kids. She's 32 now, saddled with 3 boys, 5, 4, 2, and a venomous streak that could poison a river. Growing up, she wasn't just bossy. She was a little dictator, 3 years older and mean as a snake. She'd perch on her throne of backyard junk, old tires, a busted chair, and bark orders like I was her serf. Get me a soda, hold my spot, fix my bike. I'd do it, not because we were close, but because fighting back meant noise, her tantrums, her taunts, and I'd rather choke on compliance than face that. She'd smirk, toss me a crumb of approval, good job, runt, and I'd sketch in her shadow, too small to see the leash. It wasn't friendship, it was ownership, and she loved it. She'd mock my quiet, my drawings, once ripping a page of a winged beast I'd spent hours on, laughing as I scrambled for the pieces. What? You gonna cry over paper? I didn't, but I hated her then, a hot, silent hate I buried deep. When she started popping out kids, that cruelty sharpened. She turned me into her whipping girl, the free cousin with no life to claim. You don't know real work, she'd sneer, dumping her screaming brats on me like I was a kennel, not family. Her boys are her spawn, wild, loud, smashing anything they touch, and every time I caved, I'd unravel, the overload hitting like a freight train while she'd saunter off, smug as hell. It's been a war since I grew a spine. For years back, I started dodging her traps, small nos, excuses about work, and she'd hiss, "You're so selfish," her voice dripping acid. 2 summers ago, she cornered me at a barbecue, kids wailing behind her, and demanded I take them so she could chill. I said no, overload already buzzing, and she went feral, grabbed my sketchbook, flung it into the dirt, and spat. "You think you're better than me, don't you? Little Miss Artist with her fake problems." I snatched it back, hands shaking, and walked away, her glare burning holes in my back. She didn't talk to me for 6 months, spread whispers I was ungrateful, cold, twisting the family against me. Last Christmas, she tried again, voice syrupy. Come on. For me, watch them an hour. I refused, flat and hard, and she exploded. You're a useless bitch. Always have been. Storming off to play victim to the ants. She's not just entitled. She's a predator, jealous I've got a life she can't touch, and she'll claw it apart to prove she's still on top. So here I am, dragged to Aunt Rose's for Easter weekend, a rotting jersey heap with sagging walls and a stench of mildew and meat. I didn't want to come. These reunions are a crucible, noise and need boiling over until I'm ash. But Mom knifed me with her classic line. It's Rose's last stand before she sells. You'll kill her if you ditch. I caved, resentment choking me, packing my sketchbook, headphones, and a plan to bolt if it turns to hell. The house is a zoo. Uncles bellowing about tax hikes, kids cannonballing off furniture, the kitchen a haze of grease and profanity. Gina's the ringmaster, snapping at her boys, her voice a whip crack through the din. I stake a corner of the living room, sinking into a couch that reeks of damp rot, my sketchbook open to a dragon mid-rage, scales like armor, eyes like mine, daring the world to try me. The overload's a live wire in my chest, but I grip my pencil and draw, a quiet snarl against the storm. I want a shred of calm, a breath, but Gina's circling, her stare a blade honed on years of spite, ready to carve me open. I'm hunched over my sketchbook, the dragon's claws slashing across the page, a desperate anchor in the howling storm of Aunt Rose's living room. The headphones are my last defense, noise-canceling, but useless against the uncle's booming rants about gas prices, the kids' shrieks as they hurl toys, and the kitchen's symphony of clanging pots and curses over someone's botched ziti. My chest is a vice, the overload coiling tighter with every sound, but I grip the pencil harder, tracing lines to keep from shattering. The couch sags beneath me, its damp, rot stench choking my lungs, and the air's a stew of garlic, sweat, and fraying tempers. Each shout, each crash, a spike driving into my skull. I'm not here to fix this mess or play nice. I just want to outlast this Easter nightmare Mom strong-armed me into, sketching until I can escape upstairs and claw back some sanity. The dragon's eyes burn on the page, fierce and unbowed, mirroring the defiance I'm clinging to, because if I let go, the overload will bury me. I'm not begging for much. A corner, a breath. But Gina's been stalking me all day, her boys rampaging like feral beasts, her voice a whip crack through the chaos. I've felt her glare, cold and venomous, sizing me up since I walked in, and I know she's coming for me. She hits like a hurricane. I'm mid-stroke, shading the dragon's scales, when she charges in, her shadow swallowing my light. She's a wreck. Greasy hair yanked into a bun, leggings streaked with kid grime, her face a snarl of pure spite. She rips the headphones off, and the noise slams me. Uncles roaring, kids wailing, a plate smashing in the distance. A tidal wave drowning me in seconds. My chest locks, overload surging, but she doesn't flinch. She towers over me, arms crossed, and hisses, "You're such a selfish little shit, you know that?" Her words are a knife, honed and vicious, slicing through the din. I freeze, pencil trembling, my brain scrambling as the chaos pounds me flat. She leans in, her breath a sour blast of coffee and hate, and snarls, "I've been breaking my back all day, cooking, wrangling my kids, holding this shit show together, and you're just sitting here, doodling your dumbass pictures like you're above us. I need you to watch the boys so I can help in the kitchen, and you're gonna do it." It's a command, soaked in the same poison she's dripped on me since we were kids, when she'd rule me like a tyrant and laugh when I bit. The overload's a wildfire, but rage burns hotter. She's not just demanding, she's gutting me, and I'm done bleeding for her. I drop the pencil, slow and deliberate, fighting the shake in my hands, and choke out, "Gina, I can't. The noise, it's too much. Get someone else." My voice is raw, a warning, but she cackles, a harsh, grating sound that yanks eyes from across the room. "Oh, the noise. Who fucking who, princess? We're all drowning, but you? No kids, no real problems. Just you and your pathetic little scribbles." She stabs a finger at my sketchbook, her chipped nail a dagger, and I flinch, not from fear but from the audacity. Pathetic? I've clawed a life out of this family's wreckage, and she's spitting on it like it's trash. The overload's screaming now, a buzzsaw in my head, but I'm not folding, not today. I shove the sketchbook aside and stand, legs unsteady but fury solid, staring her down. I'm not your damn servant, Gina. Hire a sitter if you're so desperate. My voice cracks, defiance punching through, and her eyes narrow to slits, a viper ready to strike. She steps closer, voice a low, venomous hiss that cuts deeper than her yelling. Hire a sitter? With what money, you spoiled bitch? You think I've got cash to burn while you play artist? You've always been a leech, too weak, too precious. I'm done carrying you. Spoiled? Leech? The lies twist my gut. She's the one who's fed off me for years, and now she's rewriting it to make me the parasite. The room's a blur, noise and anger crashing together, but I hold my ground, glaring back. Carrying me? You mean guilting me into your messes? Back off, Gina. I'm not your pawn. She doesn't back off, she ignites. Her face contorts, a mask of raw malice, and she screams, loud enough to freeze the house. You don't talk to me like that. I've carried this family while you hide, useless, selfish, a fucking waste. The words hit like fists, echoing every barb she's flung since I was a kid, every time she's crushed me to prop herself up. The family reacts, a fractured chorus of chaos. Uncle Marco, red-faced and half-drunk, bellows from the recliner. Hey, knock it off, both of you. But his voice is a dull roar, useless. Aunt Carla pokes her head out of the kitchen, spatula in hand, yelling, Gina, leave her alone, she's not your maid. A rare flicker of sense, but too late. My brother Vinny, lounging by the TV, snickers, oh, shit, here we go, egging it on like it's a cage match. The cousins, Lou and Maria, gape from the stairs, whispering, she's lost it, while Gina's oldest boy, 5 and snot-nosed, darts past, shrieking, mommy's mad, adding to the din. It's a circus, and I'm the freak in the ring. I'm shaking, overload and rage a tangled mess, but I fire back, voice hoarse, carried the family? You've been riding us all, Gina. I'm done. She stumbles back a step, just a flicker, then smirks, a cruel, triumphant curl that says she's loving this. The family splintering around us. Mom storms in from the hallway, cigarette dangling, barking. What's this now? You two ruining Easter. Her glare splits between us, but I see the tilt, the way she softens toward Gina, her golden girl. Dead grunts from the corner. Let him fight it out, retreating like always. Aunt Rosa, frail and furious, shuffles in, waving a wooden spoon. Enough. You're scaring the kids. But her voice drowns in the uproar. Gina seizes it, wheeling on them. See? She's the problem, always has been. Won't lift a finger. The lie's a slap, and Vinny laughs harder. She's got you there. Siding with her because he's an ass. Carla snaps back. Bullshit, Gina. You're the one picking fights. But no one listens. The room's a war zone, shouts, stares, kids wailing, and I'm sinking, overload clawing my edges, but I won't break. You're a liar, I spit, voice trembling but steel beneath it. You've bullied me since we were kids, ripping my stuff, calling me weak. I'm not your punching bag anymore. Her smirk falters, eyes blazing, and the family split, half jeering, half scolding, none helping. She leans in, voice of venomous whisper, you'll always be weak. Watch me prove it. The threat hangs, a promise of worse, and I know she's not done. She's too nasty, too hooked on my ruin, and the family's too fractured to stop her. I'm barely holding on in Aunt Rose's living room, the air a suffocating brew of heat and hate. My chest a steel trap as Gina's last threat from minutes ago coils around me like a noose. My sketchbook sits on the couch, its dragon my only lifeline as the overload tears through me, Uncle's shouts bouncing off the walls, kids' wails stabbing my ears, the family's ragged noise buzzing like a swarm of hornets in my head. I'm standing, legs shaky but back stiff, staring down Gina's smirk, that twisted mask of venom promising to grind me into dust. She's a storm ready to wipe me out, and I'm the target she's been itching to destroy for years. The room's a mess of clashing voices, Uncle Marco grumbling from his beer-soaked chair for everyone to shut up, Aunt Carla sharp words from the kitchen calling Gina unhinged, Vinny snickers rising like a scavenger's call near the TV, and Mom's cigarette smoke curling as she watches with a scowl, her loyalty leaning toward her precious Gina. I feel the overload clawing at me, a relentless roar threatening to drag me under, but I won't cave, not after her lies, not after she's labeled me useless and weak. She's been hunting me since I was a kid, and I'm done being her meat. Gina moves fast, like a predator unleashed. I'm gripping the couch's edge, trying to steady my breathing, when she dives for my sketchbook, her rough hands, nails chipped and cruel, snatching it up like it's hers to claim. She thrusts it high, pages flapping open, her voice shrieking that this is all I care about, some worthless scribble while she bleeds for the family. Her words hit like a whip, quieting the room for a split second, and my stomach twists. This isn't just a fight. It's her trying to erase me. She flips it open, her fingers clawing at a page, the dragon, hours of my sweat, and rips it apart, slow and deliberate, pieces falling like ash. She stomps them under her sneaker, her grin a sick, twisted thing, mocking that my dreams are dead now. My vision blurs, rage and overload melting into a firestorm, a scream burning inside me. That's not just paper. It's my core, my shield, the one thing she's always hated because it's mine, not hers. I reach for it, my voice breaking as I demand she give it back, but she pulls it away, her laughter a deep, taunting growl. She doesn't stop there. She flips through again, grabbing another page, a castle battered by storms, weeks of my life, and crumples it, hurling it at my face with a sneer about me running from reality. Then a third, a wolf mid-howl. She tears jaggedly, letting the halves drift as she calls me nothing without my pitiful drawings. I scramble for the book, but she slams it against the coffee table, the spine snapping with a sick crack, her voice hissing that she's fixed my useless hobby. The family bursts into chaos. Aunt Rosa stumbles in, her spoon waving as she sobs for Gina to stop ruining everything, her plea lost in the noise. Uncle Marco pounds his bottle down, his growl demanding an end to this madness, but he doesn't move. Vinny's voice chants to trash it all, loving every second of the wreckage. Mom's sharp tone cuts in, telling us both to stop, but her eyes soften on Gina, a quiet stab in my gut. Aunt Carla surges closer, her words accusing Gina of losing her mind and begging for the book's return, but Gina smirks, holding it out like a tease. She declares me a parasite, unworthy of family, and rips another page, a phoenix rising, stuffing it in her pocket with a grin, claiming it as hers now. My hands shake. The overload a tidal wave as I snap back that she's the parasite, feeding off us all with her whining, my voice rough with defiance. She steps closer, her eyes glinting, whispering that I've always been weak and always will be. She grabs a kid's marker, thick, black, stinking, from the table and slashes it across the cover, scrawling loser in wet, dripping letters, her voice mocking that this is who I am. She tosses it down, but kicks it hard, sending it skidding under the couch, her taunt daring me to crawl for it. I drop to my knees, clawing for it as she looms over me, her voice low and vicious, saying she should have burned every sketch I ever made years ago, calling me a stain on our family. The words cut deep, a cruelty she's perfected since I was 6, when she'd rip my drawings and laugh. I clutched the ruined book, ink smearing my hands, my retort choked that she's the sick one. The family splinters more. Aunt Rosa's wails climb, her hands clutching her chest as she mourns her breaking heart, her voice fading. Uncle Marco mutters about lunatics, sinking into his beer. Vinny's chants grow louder, pushing for fire and ruin, a twisted thrill in his tone. Mom steps forward, her words sharp to end the fight, but her hand brushes Gina's arm, protective, and it twists me up inside. Aunt Carla's voice booms, calling Gina a bully and pleading for someone to stop her, but no one does. Cousins Lou and Maria whisper from the stairs, their words branding Gina evil, while her boys, one snatching a torn page, race around, shrieking and smearing marker on the walls, piling chaos on chaos. I'm on my knees, cradling the wreckage, when Tony steps out of the shadows. Tony, my brother, 28, a solid wall of quiet strength, moves forward, his calm cutting through the storm. He's not like Vinny, who's reveling in this mess. Tony's been my anchor, the one who sat with me in silence after Gina's tantrums left me broken as a kid. He steps between me and Gina, his voice a low rumble telling her she's gone too far and needs to stop. She spins on him, her eyes wild, her retort accusing him of shielding a worthless sister, demanding he stay out of it. Tony doesn't shift, his stance steady, his words firm but even, stating that she's done enough and won't touch me again. He doesn't reach for her, doesn't raise a fist, just stands there, a tower of quiet power, his eyes fixed on her, a stillness that weighs the room down. The tension shifts, a new crack splitting the air. Mom's voice rises, scolding Tony for stepping in, her favoritism for Gina clear as day. Vinny's sneer mocks Tony's stand, a nervous edge creeping in. Aunt Carla's cheer praises his resolve, a rare spark of support. Aunt Rose's moans cry out for her ruined home, weak and fading. Gina's boys turn up the madness, one scribbling on furniture, their screams fueling the fire. Gina's snarl accuses everyone of turning on her, her voice shrieking that they're siding with the fragile freak, her hands lifting a glass from the table, water sloshing, as if she'll smash it on my book. Tony moves slightly, his presence alone making her pause, his voice cutting through again, calm and final, telling her to walk away. She hesitates, her glare ablaze, then slams the glass to the floor, the shatter a full stop as she storms toward the kitchen, her parting words spitting that we can all rot with me. The family's a wreck, Mom's protests, Vinny's laughter, Carla's fury, swirling around Tony's steady hand on my shoulder, asking if I'm okay. I nod, gripping the wrecked sketchbook, pages torn, cover defiled, the overload shredding me inside, but Tony's quiet strength holds me up. Gina's venom lingers, a hunger to break me that's far from sated. The living room at Aunt Rose's is a smoldering ruin, the air still thick with Gina's venom and the family's splintered noise, and I'm crouched on the floor, my ruined sketchbook pressed against me, pages shredded, loser scrawled in black ink staining my hands. The overload is a beast, gnawing at my skull with every lingering shout, every wail, but Tony's steady hand on my shoulder keeps me from shattering completely. His quiet presence is a thread I cling to, a calm pulse amid the storm, uncles muttering, kids tearing through the wreckage, Mom's favoritism hanging like a fog. Gina stormed off to the kitchen, her final words a hissed curse that we'll rot with me, but I feel her lurking, her cruelty a bottomless pit I've been sinking in for too long. My chest burns, rage and exhaustion wrestling with the overload, and I can't stay here, can't let her gloat over my collapse. She's been breaking me since I was a kid, her taunts, her hands tearing my world apart, and I'm finished. Finished with her, finished with this madhouse that feeds her hate. I have to get out, and it's not just escape, it's survival. I haul myself up, legs wobbly but resolve hardening, the sketchbook clutched tight like a battered shield. The overload surges, a tidal wave threatening to drown me, Vinny's snickers still cutting through, Aunt Rose's sobs seeping into the walls, but I force my hands to move, fumbling the broken book into my bag. Tony shifts beside me, his stillness asking if I'm leaving, and I nod, my voice tight as I mutter that I'm done, that she doesn't get to do this to me anymore. He tilts his head, his calm suggesting he could drive me home, but I shake my head. I need the cold, the space, something to slice through this choking chaos. My fingers snag on the bag strap, ink smearing from the cover onto my skin, a sticky reminder of Gina's spite I can't shake yet. The family's noise swarms around me, Uncle Marco grumbling about lunatics from his chair, Aunt Carla's voice sharp with disgust at Gina's rampage, Mom's footsteps pacing as she murmurs defenses for her darling in the kitchen, but I tune it out. My eyes locking on the front door. This isn't running. It's me claiming what's left of myself, tearing free from her claws after years of bending. I lurch toward the exit, the floor creaking under my boots, each step a fight against the overload still screaming in my head. My bag thumps against my thigh, heavy with the sketchbook's wreckage, and I fumble with the doorknob, my hands slick with sweat and ink. The door swings open, and the Jersey night slams into me, cold, biting, a shock that stings my lungs and snaps me awake. I stumble onto the porch, the warped boards groaning, and pull the door shut behind me, the muffled chaos of the house fading like a bad dream. My breath fogs in the air, ragged and uneven, and I start down the steps, the gravel crunching underfoot as I hit the driveway. The overload clings, a dull roar behind my eyes, but the chill seeps in, numbing the edges, and I keep moving past the rusted mailbox, past the crooked streetlight flickering orange. I'm walking. No clear destination, maybe a friend's couch, maybe just the end of the block until my head stops spinning, but each stride is a defiance, a middle finger to Gina's reign over me. The house shrinks in the distance, its yellow glow swallowed by the dark, and I feel the weight of what I've left behind. My boots scuff the pavement, the rhythm steadying me, but my mind churns with uncertainty. Will Gina twist this into her next weapon? Spin me as the selfish coward who ditched the family? She's got a knack for it, turning her venom into gospel, and I can see her now, ranting to Mom about my betrayal, her voice dripping with fake tears. Will Mom swallow it whole, her favoritism blinding her to Gina's claws? Or will she hesitate, caught between her golden girl and the daughter she barely knows? I don't know if Gina will chase me down, flood my phone with poison texts, rally the cousins to shun me, or show up at my apartment with her kids in tow, demanding I grovel. She might let it stew instead. Her grudge is silent cancer she'll nurture until it's sharp enough to cut again. My hands clench around the bag strap, the overload a pulsing ache, and I wonder if I should turn back, not to beg, but to unleash everything I've held in, call her the leech, the bully, the liar she is. But I keep walking, too raw to decide. The street stretches ahead, shadows pooling under bare trees, and the uncertainty gnaws deeper. Will Tony take heat for standing by me, his quiet loyalty earning Mom's wrath or Vinny's taunts? Will Aunt Carla's outrage sway anyone? Or will the family just shrug it off, too tangled in their own mess to care? I can't guess how this lands. Will Gina double down, her hunger to break me driving her to something worse? Or will she back off, licking her wounds until the next holiday? My sketchbook's a casualty, its torn pages rattling in my bag, and my head's a war zone, the overload still clawing, but I'm out, free of her grip for now. I've spent years swallowing her hate, vowing to keep the peace, and tonight I snapped that chain. The cold bites my face, my breath a white plume, and I let it carry me. No clue if this is victory or just a pause before she strikes again. She's too hooked on my ruin to quit, and I'm too drained to know what's coming. Will she escalate, drag the family into a war, or fade into a silence that's somehow worse? The night wraps around me, vast and unreadable, and I stumble forward, my exit a shaky stand I can't yet call a win. I'm blocks away from Aunt Rose's now, the Jersey nights chill seeping into my bones, my bag thudding against my hip with every step, the mangled sketchbook inside a jagged weight dragging my mind back to Gina's wrath. The overload hums in my head, a dull ache from the chaos I fled, uncle's grumbles, kids' shrieks, mom's favoritism, but out here, the street silence is a shaky salve. My boots scrape the pavement, my breath misting in the dark, and I can't stop dissecting Gina's behavior, her venom, the way she's always been. It's not some Easter blowout gone rogue. It's her essence, a toxin I've been swallowing since I was a kid, honed tonight when she shredded my sketchbook, scrawled "loser" in black ink, and kicked it under the couch with that twisted grin. I'm raw, furious, and part of me burns to storm back and ram it all down her throat, her lies, her hate, her endless need to crush me. But I keep walking, the cold sinking in as I peel her apart, layer by layer, and figure out what to do next. She's always strutted like her life's a crown, 3 kids, a loud mouth, a martyr's swagger, and we're all meant to grovel at her feet. I get that raising kids is tough, but she's forged it into a weapon, a free pass to slash anyone who doesn't bow. She's never seen me as kin, just a tool, a shadow to twist or shatter. When we were kids, she'd reign over me, tearing my drawings, smirking as I'd grab for the pieces, her voice mocking my quiet as weakness. It wasn't play, it was power, and she gorged on it. I remember one summer, 10 years old, when she snatched a hawk sketch I'd slaved over, proud, intricate, and ripped it in two, laughing as she ground it into the dirt, her words slicing that I'd never be anything. I didn't cry, just stared, but the hate took root, a seed she's tended ever since. I should have called her out then, faced her down, and I'm itching to do it now, march back, hold up those torn pages, and make her see she doesn't own me. Now, with her boys running wild, she's nastier, dumping them on me like I'm her servant, then raging when I push back, as if my time, my sanity, are hers to seize. She branded me selfish tonight, useless, a stain, but it's her mirror, she's the one who drains, who thrives on guilt and ruin. Trashing my sketchbook wasn't about needing help. It was her punishing me for standing outside her reach, for having something, my art, my life, she can't claim. That grin as she ripped those pages, the way she kicked the book and dared me to crawl, it was pure, sick delight, not stress or despair. She's jealous, has been since I carved my own path, of my quiet, my drawings, the freelance work that keeps me free. She hates that I don't kneel, that I've built something she can't touch, and she'll wreck it to prove she's still queen. Calling my overload weakness, dismissing my need for space, is her lie. She knows it's a fight I've won every day, and it eats at her. I need to reclaim that, rebuild my sketches, show her she can't erase me. I'm ready to start tomorrow, pencil in hand, defiant. She's twisted the family, Mom half swallows her act, those soft looks tonight proving it. Vinny cheers her like it's a game, but it's a sham. She's not the glue, she's the fracture, splitting us with her fits and demands. Last year, when she guilted me into watching her kids for a quick errand that stretched 6 hours, leaving me a wreck from the noise, she didn't flinch, just waltzed in, smirking that I'd managed, her voice dripping fake praise. It's her cycle, her taking, me breaking, her gloating, and I've let it drag too long, burying my fury to keep the peace. Tonight snapped that. She's not family in any real way, not the kind that holds you up. She's a leech, a chain I've hauled for years, and I'm not guilty for walking out. I'm livid I didn't cut her off sooner. I should tell them, Mom, Tony, Carla, lay it bare, how she's poisoned us, rally them to see her for what she is. They deserve to know, and I'm done shielding her. Her warped notion that my life's lesser, no kids, guarding my peace, is a delusion she's nursed since her first son. She's convinced my freedom's a dead IO, that my empty days should be hers to clog with her mess. It's exhausting, her orders, her tantrums, the way she turns every no into a war. She's not just cruel, she's relentless, a machine bent on grinding me to dust. I've been too much, stuffing my anger to keep the family steady. But steady for who? Her ego, her need to dominate. The cold stings my face, my hands gripping the bag, and the defiance swells. I won't let her define me, won't let her ruin me, no matter how deep her claws sink. She's a storm I've weathered too long, and I'm done cowering. I need to act, face her next time, not just walk away. Rebuild what she broke, stronger, call out her game to anyone who'll listen. The night stretches ahead, my resolve hardening with every step. She won't win, not if I fight back. What would you do? Share your thoughts.